time for that. I was only able to enjoy the bath for a short time. Chapter 34 Bath. With the completion of the bathhouse and everyone's understanding, the equipments were arranged quickly. The location of the bathhouse is on the southwest side of the reservoir. I wanted to build it on the east side of the reservoir, but considering the drainage, building it on the west side can't be helped. Furthermore, considering the future expansion of the reservoir, it gave me no choice but to build it in the western part of the southwest area where the log house of the elves are. Because of that, I expanded the southwest area to include the bathhouse in it. I somehow expanded it to a size of a 4x4 fields. Even if I say that, I will just dig a moat and add log fence so it will be complete in a few days. I made sure that the log fence and the moat will not affect the drainage and waterway of the bathhouse. The bath is also totally exposed, unprotected. If something were to happen, I want it to at least buy time as much as possible. Though I like open-air baths, being too open is embarrassing. Even though we already have intimate relationships, I want to build fences as courtesy. Though it might be okay for now, seeing women bathing defenselessly in the open might cause some sense of immorality. So I decided to fence it. I tried not to block the view from the bathtub as much as possible. My aim is to only prevent someone's intrusion. Next thing I thought is about water drawing. Though I made a waterway to be able to draw water nearby, it still has to be poured on the kiln to make it hot. It is quite laborious. Because of that, I decided to make a device to draw water. It is a water mill equipped with a lot of wooden buckets. It may be easier to understand if you imagine a Ferris wheel. The buckets are the gondola of the Ferris wheel that draws water, drawing water below and pouring them when it reached the top. It should have been fully automatic, but I'm only an amateur. Certain skills are needed to make it properly. However, at least it's an improvement compared to drawing water manually. After that is making bath equipments, bath chairs, pails, etc. Lou, Tia, and the elves are pleased with the bath and are using it non-stop. How can I use it if you're there? Thinking about it, it seems like I have to make the opportunity myself. Kuro's pups returned. As they came back with partners, their number increased again. Thinking about it, I have to make houses in the dog area again. They came back smoothly this year. However, there is no eye-catching dog like Fubuki and Masayuki. By the way, Masayuki did no leave. I don't know who it is, but his partner is someone's female pup. Then, I noticed someone standing out. They're completely different. The Kuros who just came back brought 5 female high elves with them. It seems like the pups have driven them here for some reason. They were not allowed to escape. They were protected by Ria's group and explained everything while crying. After that, it was decided to have them live here with Ria's group's recommendation. I am Rafa, Raza, Rarasha, Raru, and Rami. It felt like the time with Ria. Their names were similar and they also ran away from their village 200 years ago because they are family. Though this is the first time I heard it, it seems like Ria's group of 7 are also sisters and cousins. Likewise, Rafa's group are also sisters and cousins. For the time being, I had the 5 of them live in Ria's group's house. We have to build a house for Rafa's group as well. We suddenly became busy. It seems like I have to make my house next year. Or so I thought. However, the increase in work speed due to the addition of 5 high elves that survived in the forest was more than expected. A log house similar to Ria's has been completed in 5 days. Given the momentum, we next build my new house. The location was the place where I made my first field. There were suggestions to make it in the southwest area, but I find it difficult to leave that tree. Zubaton, Kuro, and Yuki are also living there. For the new house, I'm mainly the one taking lumbers and processing them. I was not requested during the assembly. They used rope made by Zubaton to dexterously assemble it. This one also looks similar to Ria's log house. As the saying goes, leave mochi to mochi makers, so I leave the assembly to Ria's group. I gather lumber and process them as requested. Perhaps it might not have been completely good to entrust everything to them. I thought of that when I realized how the house is. Chapter 35 My home. It was a big solid house. I wonder why. It seems to be my new house. Why this big? Because I want a room of my own. I have thought that our previous house is small for a long time. It's the village chief house, so it's supposed to be like this. It has already been completed, so I guess it can't be helped. Although it is big, it is similar to a log cabin since it was built without using nails. I guess this is the size limit. It also has the basic rectangular shape. Though it is a big house, it is light and the center square is empty. Houses during the Middle Ages are usually U-shaped or R-shaped. On the contrary, my house is a long house where the long side extends to the east and west. Only the door part bulges a little. The bulging part is the entrance. Immediately after entering is a big hall. The width is roughly 10 meters. The length of the room is about 3 times of that, about 30 meters. The height is about 7 to 8 meters since it goes all the way to the second floor. There are several pillars that are necessary as roof support, but those also give a luxurious atmosphere. We could use this as a meeting place. Rafa sticks out her chest and says that there is a big door in the depths of the hall, and it is not a bedroom door but something like a courtyard. Of course, it is the big tree where Zubaton lives. If you think about it, it feels like my new house is something like a gate protecting the tree, just like Ria's log house. There are doors and stairs that go up to the second floor to the left and right of the hall. The end door on the left side of the first floor seems to be my private room. I thought that I would like it on the right side to be closer to the toilet outside, but it is its own private restroom. There's a slime below it, so use it well. There are 3 toilets on the first floor. 2 are placed beside the stairs and 1 is in my private room. My private room consists of a toilet, a bedroom, and a warehouse. Each of the rooms, except for the toilet, in my private room is much bigger than the shed we have been living before. The curtains and sheets are prepared by Zubaton. Looking out of the window of my bedroom, I saw Zubaton waving its leg, so I waved back. The kitchen and the dining room is on the right side of the hall. Now we can easily cook indoor. There is an exit door in the kitchen where the outdoor kitchen is. The outdoor kitchen has roof, so we can still use it even if it's raining. In addition, there is a stair built in the kitchen for the underground food warehouse. I get up using the stairs on the left side of the hall. Private rooms are lined up there. It seems like Tia and Lou have one each. But why are they still empty? Let's not think about it. On the other side of their rooms are rooms slightly larger than their own rooms. It seems like they are going to use it either as workshop or warehouse. All the rooms have the same size of window that gives sufficient light. This is a very good house. Spend this winter here and say anything you are discontent with, that we can improve it later. I was surprised with how big the house is, and thinking that I requested something like a basement and big pillars made me feel guilty. Let's not think about it. By the way, the log fence between this new house and the previous one was removed and the moat was also filled up. The Kuros can jump over them effortlessly, so I understand that they are not very useful, but still, having them disappear makes me lonely. Those have sentimental value. They are part of the first log fence and first moat he built. Because of that, made the previous moat a flower bed. Besides things to eat, this is like an experiment of what more can I raise. I'm not sure what to raise, so I planted garden rose for the time being. The big house was completed, but the elves were not the ones who actively worked on it. The one with the most contribution is probably Tia. Tia created a golem with magic that greatly contributed to the construction. That earth golem she created can divide itself into 30. If strength is needed, she turns it into a fewer number. The fewer they are, the stronger and powerful they are. If the work is simple, she divides them into a larger number. By the way, it seems like when she first come here, she used it against the Kuros, but it was destroyed before I came. I discovered, or you can say that I was not aware of one thing. It is the strength of the trees around this forest. They are considerably hard. They are very excellent building material, but the disadvantage is the logging and processing is very difficult. However, with the use of my AFT, I can cut and process them with ease. I thought that Ria had me do it for contribution purposes, but I didn't know that my existence is the reason why the house was completed early. It's good that I was useful. The comfort of living in that house was not bad, so I moved at once. My previous house was not dismantled. It will be used as a warehouse in the future. Naruko was installed on the ceiling of the hall of the house. A thread was attached on the Naruko extending to the top of the big tree where Zabuton lives in. This will be Zabuton's signaling device. From now on, instead of beating the tree, the signal will be the Naruko. I'm grateful for it. The puppies have increased a lot this year, to the point that it's impossible to count them. 2 of them are pure white puppies like Fubuki. Is there a certain probability for a genetic divergence to be born? Since those 2 can be easily distinguished, I'll give them a name. TN. Difference of the illustration above from the description in this web novel: no door for MC's bedroom, no door at the back of the hall for the courtyard. Nothing is written here about the rooms above the kitchen. Chapter 36. Construction rush and the surrounding circumstances. Construction continued even after my house's completion. Workshop, drying cabin, and food smoking cabin were made. According to the elves, those food processing places are necessary, especially the food smoking cabin. By smoking meat, we will be able to preserve them for a long time. Regarding the crops, in addition to the regular crops such as tomatoes and potatoes, I planted a lot of seasoning. I was able to harvest pepper. I'm presently drying them. The lemon tree has not bear fruit yet. Wasabi needs a paddy field, so it is not possible to plant them yet. Sesames were harvested. Red peppers were harvested. Gingers were harvested. The olive tree has not bear fruit yet. Next year, I will plant cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, cumin, laurel, etc. I want to cook curry in the future. For the time being, I'm still in the testing phase of the seasoning, so the production volume is still small. I'm still trying to plant different types of them, all for delicious foods. As for the regular crops, the harvest was good as usual. The drying and processing of crops that require them such as wheat and rice are being developed by the elves. I'm saved. After the completion of the waterway and the bath, I'm thinking that I want bamboo as a material for fences, but since bamboo increased their numbers with the influence of the field, it will surely be affected if I raise them in a poor place, so I raised them in a distant corner of the forest. The place is about 10 by 10 meters. I'm currently experimenting on it. I started a while ago just before Arthur's group appeared. When I tried to look at it before the winter, the bamboos are already growing up, but only on the 10 by 10 meters of land that I plowed. They have not grown outside of it. Still, why only at the place where I plowed? Well, the growth rate in the places I plowed is amazing. I think that's good enough. For the time being, I decided to take some bamboo home to make things that use bamboo material. The bamboo cup I just made by only cutting was light, so it became popular. The winter has come. The comfort of living in the new house was not bad. Sometimes, the Kuros come to play because the place is huge. They are enjoying playing chess around the brazier that was installed in the middle of the hall. They are more elegant than me. The elves are making iron products during this winter. I did not participate in any way in the making and processing of iron. I watched them and noticed that I, although painful, can't help them. So I tried hard on cooking. The power of seasoning is great, no matter how busy they are, except to those elves whose turn to use the furnace. We all got together during mealtime at the kitchen. I want miso and soy sauce. I also want dairy products and eggs. I have to think about a method to obtain them. But there is only one way to do so. I must buy it in some other place. Until now, I have never been interested in the place outside, but now that I thought of it, Lu, Tia, and the elves came from the outside. Other people exist. There might even be towns and villages. There is a high possibility that there are cows and chickens there. It might be a good idea to buy cows and chickens from them. Thinking about it some more. I made a farm here without permission. Is this someone's territory? Will they get angry at me? Lu, Nanny? This place. Is this someone's territory? This place. You mean this land? Yeah. I don't think this is someone's territory. But if we're talking about the surroundings sphere of power, we are in the Demon King's sphere of influence. Demon King? Yup. Demon King, as in the Demon King? That's right. Is there something wrong? Ito. Won't the Demon King complain that I selfishly created a farm here without permission? You're worrying about that? It is fine. This place is under his sphere of influence, but he doesn't own this land, so he can't collect tax. Also, they did not lend you a hand when husband is making this place, right? No, not at all. Then, it's definitely all right. Husband made this place alone, so this is husband's territory. Is that how it works? That's how it works. I see. But still, the Demon King. He must be a frightening existence. Thought it makes me feel uneasy. I totally forgot about it when I was cooking. There is no point to fearing the Demon King I never met. I'll just deal with the problem in front of me. The population increased with the addition of 5 elf females. Rafa's group is similar to Ria's group. They look like university students, or maybe high school students. Every one of them is beautiful. Though it might be wrong to complain, but I must protect my chastity. The things that are important, I placed them in my heart. I have prepared my heart several steps ahead. Do your best, me. Chapter 37. Spring. When the wyvern attacked. Spring has come. During the winter, the only thing I can remember is me cooking. Well, it's true. As a matter of fact, I think that my cooking skill has improved a lot. Now I'm thinking, no matter what dish I cook, Lu's reaction is the same. She's saying it's delicious. I want her to tell me if it tastes bad, if it's not delicious. I said it was delicious because it was really delicious. Please have confidence. They are really tasty. Suddenly, there's an emergency. I never heard Zubaton's alarm this loud. Something serious might have occurred. When I tried to run towards Zubaton's direction, Lu stopped. Above, Lu pointed out a large flying creature in the sky. There is a creature that looks like a fat lizard with bat wings. It is hard to estimate the size since it's too far, but I think it's about 20 meters. Dragon? No, it's a wyvern. Lu-san, barrier. Tia corrected me, then used magic. Lu did the same. The next moment, the wyvern suddenly stopped approaching and spewed a big fireball toward here. The big fireball was really big. It is probably about 10 meters in diameter. Immediately after it spat, the surrounding temperature increases significantly. The target is the big tree where Zubaton lives. As soon as I saw that, I shouted for Zubaton. The big fireball crashed into something, then scattered. The scattered fireball fell into the houses and fields. Extinguish the fire. The elves rushed and ran around carrying water. While Tia and Lu look impatient, I stare at the wyvern. It seems to be difficult to finish it off without taking damage. They had such expressions. I'm glad that they thought of this place as something important. At the same time, rage was born inside of me. Why did it attack this place? Is it a whim, or is it an order from someone? In my hand, the AFT transformed into a spear. I threw it at the wyvern with all my might. If it's just my usual strength, it won't reach such a distance. However, the spear form of AFT that I threw off flew away in a straight line and torn one of the wyvern's wings. The wyvern falls down while being puzzled on my attack. I failed to kill it. The spear form AFT that I threw earlier appeared on my hand again. I threw the spear form AFT once again to the falling wyvern. It pierced straight to its body this time. A loud scream resounded. Tenacious. But it is already over. Before I notice it, I already instructed the Kuros who are waiting behind me. Exterminate it. Hearing my order, all the Kuros ran at once. Running to the place where the wyvern fell. While watching the Kuros run off, I tried to cool down. Present condition assessment. How is the fire? It's all right now. It has been extinguished. The damage? The houses are all right. Part of the tomato fields is now useless. Also, Zubaton-san's threads. The thread that Zubaton and her spiderlings built over the field was burnt. Is that so? Lu, Tia. We're safe because you protected us from the first strike. I did my best. They strangely look stiff. I'm probably making a scary face right now. This won't do. Remembering the irrational attack, my anger swells up again. Is it the work of the Demon King? Demon King? I don't think he's involved. Is that so? Yes, I think that it is a wild wyvern. If it is under someone's control, I don't think that it will attack alone. I see. A wild one. Is wyvern common? In some areas, yes, but in my opinion they are rare. I agree. In addition, you can encounter a fire-spewing wyvern as much as you can encounter dragons. I see. Then, can we consider this encounter as a rare event? Yes, I think so. So it's just a mere misfortune. Calm down. I'll just think that it's a natural disaster. Ah, the Kuros are back. They're calling for you. When we went to the place where the wyvern fell, I was surprised again seeing its gigantic figure. Is it bigger than the sperm whale I saw on TV? It seems like it was already dead when it fell, so there is no need for the Kuros to finish it off. That said, what are you doing sitting proudly on the wyvern's body? Ah, you're guarding it. You prevented other monsters from approaching. Good. But this is really big. I wonder if we can eat this. I heard that wyvern's meat is delicious. So we decided to eat it. We had a hard time dismantling it, but the tasting how delicious it is makes it worth it. It tasted better with the help of the seasoning I experimented with during winter. We ended up having a banquet. I didn't know about it, but shooting down the wyvern seems to have had various after effect on various places. In a familiar place, Lu and Tia, husband's attack on the wyvern. Can you defend against it? Impossible. How about Lu-san? Of course I can't. I thought so too. It pierced through the triple barrier of the wyvern, and instead of just stabbing, it cleanly pierced through it. Maybe we are lucky that we were attacked by the Kuros when we first got here. Probably. If it was husband who attacks, just thinking about it frightens me. We must be thankful for that good luck, and for the Kuros too. Though it is frustrating. Demon King's castle. The wyvern of the Iron Forest fell? Don't joke around. It is true. A scout saw it. After the wyvern of Iron Forest spat a fireball, it was hit by some sort of attack and fell. Are you serious? Ah, I already reported it on the upper echelon and it became a big fuss. Of course it will. If it comes near this place, we need to mobilize forces comparable to waging war. And a guy that shot it down is somewhere there. Crap. If I'm going to resign, this is the right time. Don't panic. We still have yet to determine if that person is an enemy or not. Indeed, there is a possibility that it was someone from the Four Heavenly Kings. Let's wait and see. Right, the dragon living on the mountain in the south. Perhaps my eyes are deceiving me. Don't worry, they are still working normally. Truly? Yes, I saw it too. Is that so? Yes. What do you think will happen if that attack was pointed to me? It will probably penetrate you cleanly. Really? Then, what should I do? That should be decided by you, Master. Don't say that. Propose something. I ask of you, if I may, before that attack is turned unto us. Isn't it best to tie that person with friendship? I think being hostile against him is a foolish idea. Though there was variously after effect, meeting those influences is still in the future. Chapter 38. I want sake. I thought about the wyvern's meat at the banquet. I want sake. Sake. What is the raw material for sake? Sake came from rice. Wine from grapes. Right. Good. But how do you make sake? I read about it in a manga and watch something related to it on TV. However, the problem is, I don't have aspergillus. Can I plant that using the AFT? I need to research about it. Maybe making wine would be easier. Making wine is simple. You just have to mash grapes then ferment it. However, if the grapes are not suited for wine making, it will be useless. Presently, the grapes we harvest are sweet and tasty like the ones sold in supermarkets, but can I use it for wine making? There should be a variety of grape that is used for wine making. I prayed to God that the grapes on the farm can be used for making wine. That moment, I realized that I would not be able to get wine immediately. Let's just give up on that. He's giving up on drinking wine immediately, not in making wine. After that, I made a vineyard for wine. It is important to put my spirit to it. I expanded the new field area to the east, doubling its size. It became an 8x8 fields. That is a 32-field vineyard dedicated for wine. I'm supposed to have been calmed down, but I got irritated again remembering the wyvern's attack. Reflection. Anyway, I should have planted the grapes in the fruit area. I wonder why I planted them in the new farm area. I returned to my usual work. First of all, I tried planting additional type of seasonings that I thought of in one of the first fields I made near my house since it is empty. Because I don't think I need much of them, I only planted several pieces each. But I want a lot of olives, so I'll plant them in the fruit area. Since the fruit area has become crowded, I expanded it to the north side. The fruit area's size is now 4 by 8 fields. Speaking of the fruit area, the bees that the spiderlings looking after are growing up well. Moreover, there have been several hives already. New hives were built in 4 places. With the request of Zubaton's spiderlings, I made them to be wind and rain proof. By the way, I will be able to secure some honey from the first hive. The amount is about a can of juice, 350 milliliters. I have put it in a stone jar that I carved, but looking at it, I thought that I want a glass bottle. I wonder if I can make one. It's not good to be greedy. Let's just do things we can do steadily. The honey was well received by everyone and it is now less than half in no time. It is pretty popular. Let's use what is left for cooking next time. The high elf Rarisha had excellent skill. She seems to be able to make a barrel for water. I follow her instructions in making the barrel parts. I mainly cut down and process woods. Rarisha is the one who assembled and adjusted the parts I made. She seems to have been making barrels for the last 200 years and the first barrel she made here doesn't leak anywhere. Water barrels are expected to be useful in many ways, so we made it in large quantities. The top priority is for making wine. To ferment grapes, barrel is necessary. We've done our best. Meanwhile, when I was cooking the dish she requested, the others started participating. They did not succeed in making one in their first try, but after several failures, they became skillful in it. They are more dexterous than me, though none of them can compete against Rarisha. Their barrel-making skill progressed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'll make one once I can make one. By the way, the dish she requested of me is nabe. Because we don't have katsuobushi, it is impossible to make dashi. I just boiled a small quantity of meat and throw a large quantity of vegetables as nabe. For me, this nabe is so disappointing, but it was well received by everyone. Because we don't have katsuobushi, I increased the amount of seasoning to make it tasty. I also haven't raised a yuzu yet. The previous world was blessed. I'm still on the research phase with regards to mushrooms, so I was not able to put a shiitake on the dashi. TN, Manga Chapter 19. Chapter 39, Expressing Gratitude to God and Reservoir Improvement. As usual, when the spring came, Zubaton's spiderlings will depart, so I see them off. The Kuro's horn shedding also started. After that, they will look for partners. Great. I finally got used to it. I'll try improving the reservoir. The water from the waterfall presently goes straight to the reservoir. Because of that, when garbage enters the waterway, it will go straight to the reservoir. Though I can simply pick up garbage, it will be troublesome if a living creature enters it. In order to prevent that from happening, I made another reservoir before the main reservoir as a cushion against infiltration. The main reservoir is an inverted pyramid with a depth of 5 meters in the center, while the cushioning reservoir is only 50 centimeters deep. With this, even if garbage or living things comes in, the possibility of them being blocked before the main reservoir increases. Of course, there should be a divider between the cushioning reservoir and the main reservoir. A wire net would be perfect, but I don't have that kind of things, so I made a filter made of bamboo. Garbage will surely be filtered by it. I should also similarly improve the waterway for drainage. I made a drainage pool at the drainage of the bath and put slimes there to purify water. I also connected it to the drainage from the main reservoir. This is a measure to make sure that only clean water will fall into the river. I also installed bamboo filters into the newly built drainage pool similar to the cushioning reservoir. This is not to prevent the reverse entry of garbage, but to keep the slimes in the drainage pool. That said, the slimes had increased their numbers before I noticed it. Now I often see slimes moving freely around. Although I panicked the first time I saw them moving freely around, I let them be because they are harmless and are only moving towards places necessary for them to live in. I occasionally see a slime of different color, but I don't think there's a problem with that. When I was doing all of those things, the Kuro's partner searching time has come, but most of them did not go on a journey this year. It seems that couples have formed to those who are presently here. It's probably a good thing. Let's assume it's good. As a substitute for that event, I dispatched to invite the wandering high elves in the forest, like Ryu and the others, to migrate here. Along with 10 Kuros, Ihadrif and Razugo. No matter what happens, they must return by winter. At the same time, we'll make new log houses for new residents in advance. Things will gonna get busy. The harvest time of the grapes for wine came in a blink of an eye. Now that we harvested them, it's time to challenge winemaking. I remember that the people from the past used to step on them to mash them, but I am personally against stepping on food. So I mashed them by using a mortar and pestle. After mashing, I kept them in a barrel and stored them. It's done. It was easy, but since it's too easy, I'm somewhat uneasy if I would be able to make wine with that. Though it is easy, because of the amount, it can be called a difficult job. I was able to make 16 large barrels. Those barrels are large enough to store a person in it. If I make them in the same method, I'll be frustrated if I fail. Because of that, I try changing the mashing method for each barrel. That way, at least one will probably be okay. Problem: what will I do now to the vineyard? If it's the usual, I'll plow it again and plant the same thing. Should I continue planting grapes even though I am uncertain if I'll be able to make wine? If you think about the preservation time, wheat, soybean, rice, or corn might be better. Because I was troubled, I decided to consult everyone. They are unified to let it stay as vineyard for wine. Eto, I'm looking forward to the wine. I want to drink it quickly. Please call me for wine tasting. Wine? That's very nice. Fufafu. I can drink a considerable amount of wine. Please leave the barrel making to me. Everyone seems to really want wine. Though I don't know what will become of it, I decided to keep it being a vineyard. The vineyard is not the only field. We still need to harvest wheat, soybean, rice, corn, and other grains. We also have to harvest root crops like carrots, potatoes, radish, garlic, and onions. The distribution of harvesting work is based on whether the spiderlings can harvest them or not. The spiderlings can harvest crops that need to be picked or cut, but it is impossible for them to harvest things that need force. Because of that, I had the spiderlings harvest tomato, cabbage, pumpkin, cucumber, eggplants, and fruits. Those that need to be picked by human hands like spinach, sugarcane, and tea were harvested by us. We also harvested rapeseed and processed them secure oil. I am truly grateful for the increase of helping hands. Though the food consumption increased, with the AFT, crops grow faster and we don't have to worry about starvation. My gratitude. That said, I experimented with crops in a variety of ways. I wonder if the crops I planted will grow elsewhere. I tested it with onion. The result: they grow in the place I plowed but rotted in other places. I tried cultivating the onion in water, but it also did not go well. It rotted as soon as the bud comes out. Is that method bad or is the water bad? Anyway, it is great to know that even without the AFT, crops can grow in the places I plowed. However, the growth rate is slow. Though I say slow, its growth rate is the normal growth rate of that crop. In other words, it's all thanks to the AFT that crops' growth rate is fast. I express my gratitude to God again. By the way, the fruit trees I planted with the AFT grows fast, but after producing their first fruit, their growth rate slows down to normal. TN, Manga Chapter 19 page 3, Chapter 40, Additional Elves. This year's number of Kuro's birth halves. There were some of them who did not get pregnant. I was surprised because I was sure that everything will be like the previous years. Can they control their pregnancy? Yuki did not bear this year too. Even then, I still need to increase their tenement-type sheds along with the expansion of the dog area. The dog area is on the east of my residence and is currently at the size of 4x4 fields. Because the Kuro's population is now quite big, it feels crowded since a while ago. However, they don't really mind because the dog area is just a place to sleep for them. I expanded the dog area on the east side. The expanded area is the same size as the original area. With this, the dog area is now 4x8 fields in size. It will be okay for a while. When the Kuro's birthing period was over, at the time when the new pups began to grow horns, Ruf and Raza, who went out together with some of the Kuros to invite other high elves who are wandering in the forest, came back. The number they brought back were more than what I expected. 8 groups. A total of 42 high elves. Every one of them seems to be of the same age as Ria's group. Is high elf a female-only race? When the village was attacked, the males fought while the females evacuated. I see. Still, there should be boys at least. Among those who evacuated, the elderly and children migrated to other tribes. HNN, if you have some place to go, why didn't you go there? Going to other tribes other than the tribe of your origin means you'll be a servant. When that happens, there is no guarantee that females of our age will be treated nicely. So that's the reason why the wandering high elves are only young she-elves. Rather than being servant to other tribes, they chose the vagrant life in the forest. Thank you for permitting us to settle here. No, I just did what I had to do. Don't be so modest. Also, although we already prepared additional houses, they are still insufficient. Help me build them. I only expected about 10, 15 at most. Now the number of house is completely not enough. We constructed houses in a hurry. I wonder if those 42 will visit my bedroom after settling down. Ria, if you know any high elf male, please bring them here. Village chief. If you're talking about those high elf boys who emigrated to other tribes, it will be difficult. HNN, what do you mean? The villages they emigrated to were also destroyed by humans. Is that so? I apologize for inquiring such a thing. No, we met some members of those tribes and we heard that they also protected our tribe's males. Males are valuable for them too. If we ask them to return them to us, there will be a dispute and a fight will break. Because the atmosphere became heavy, I changed the topic. Since your number has increased, please choose a representative for high elves. That will be my job. If it is Ria, then I am relieved. By the way, did the newcomers consented? Don't worry. The ranking has already ended. Ranking? Let's not ask in detail. Is that so? Anyway, please teach the newcomer to make them familiar to this place. Affirmative. TN. Manga Chapter 19 Page 6, Chapter 41. Third bowl of tendon, flora, animades, and cow. With the newly arrived residents, I thought that we're already lively, but the liveliness increases more. The reason? By the end of the spring, just when the stomach of the Kuros who got pregnant started to noticeably swell, one woman came. Fufafu. What an interesting place. That night, we noticed a woman who's floating about 1 meter in the air and is being followed by bats. She looks like she's in her late 20s. She is quite beautiful. She's wearing a kind of dress that perfectly fits her body. You'll know her figure with one look. Her chest and butt seem to be small. She has a neck-long silver hair. No matter how you look at her, she's related to Lu. Lu's an Ain or Haruka-san? Anyway, let's call Lu to meet her. However, the Kuros began beating her up. I recall the first time I met Lu. I wonder if they were aggressive because they are pregnant. The woman became an elementary schooler from her late 20s in no time. She's naked now. It became difficult for her to maintain the clothes she wore with magical power. And she's also weeping. I recall the first time I met Tia. I got in between her and the Kuros for the time being and maintain the status quo until Lu arrives. Although she's crying, I did not avert my gaze from her because I'm scared that she'll bite my neck. However, I also want her to recover. But I did not give her blood. I will be in trouble if she's Lu's enemy. When Lu arrived, diplomacy was finally established. Flora, Anisama. So she's Lu's Imto. Hearing the details, she seems to be her cousin. Her name is Flora Sakuto. It seems like she came here to search for Lu. Because you never came back, I thought that you were done in by that evil angel. I went out to search for you to see what truly happened. I see. By the way, when Lu introduced me, my husband, this human is Anisama's husband? He doesn't look convincing. He's the master of the Inferno Wolves and the boss of this place. I said a very impolite thing. Please forgive me. I was stunned by her sudden change of attitude. However, there is something I'm more concerned about. I would never miss that line. Inferno Wolf? Is it the Kuros? That's right. Inferno Wolf. That's a stern name. They are wolf. Wolf. TN. Just a reminder. Italicized words are written on English. Eh? They are not dogs? Well, they have horns. Ma. It doesn't matter whether they are wolves or not. By the way, the pure white Fubuki seems to be a mutated species called Cocytus wolf, since she's Lu's cousin. I gave her blood. No matter how many times I see something like this, seeing a girl grow older is a mysterious scene. When she saw me, Lu blocked my eyes. She doesn't mind Tyr or the elves, but she minds it when it comes to her younger cousin. I see. When we took Flora to our house we met Tyr and caused some commotion. Like everyone, she fainted upon seeing Zabuton and her spiderlings. She was perplexed when she saw Lu harvesting in the field, but she's extremely happy when she ate the crops and the dishes using them as ingredients. She's very lively. After that, Flora stayed in a vacant room of my house for about 10 days before going back home. She did not get tired of this place and seemed to earnestly want to live here. However, there are various things she left in the place she was living in, so she left to arrange them. She looks like she terribly doesn't want to leave. I thought that she would come back as soon as possible, but she unexpectedly returned before winter. She also brought not just one but a number of people. The vampire, Flora Sakuta, came back along with 20 maids. It seems like they are those who were working for her in her previous residence. They are all from the Una race. If you look at them closely, you'll notice small horns on their head. They are on their forehead. Some have one, the others have two, but they are all located before their hairlines. The size is about as big as a thumb. The head maid's name is Anne. My lord, I will now be in your care. She recognized me as the head. Did Flora ask them so?